Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love discovering hidden treasures in everyday coins, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and keeps these rare coin stories coming your way. Alright, let's get started with number 1 on our list. First up, we have the 1916 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, a coin that proves even something old and worn can be worth a fortune. This penny may look simple, but its story is anything but ordinary. It was struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1916, a time when the United States was standing on the edge of World War I. Over 131 million of these pennies were minted, but very few have survived in collectible condition, especially with rare errors. The design of the coin is iconic. On the front, you see the dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head is the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left liberty, and the year 1916 to the right. On the back, 2 wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum along the top. But what makes this coin extremely valuable is a rare die clash error. During minting, 2 dies struck each other without a blank planch in between, causing part of the reverse design to faintly appear on the front. This kind of error is extremely hard to find today, and that's why collectors are willing to pay massive amounts for it. Even in bad condition, one of these coins with visible die clash error was auctioned for an unbelievable $935,000. It was found in an old estate collection, stored for decades in a simple tin box. Its patina had turned dark brown, but its originality remained untouched. For collectors, this is not just a coin, it's a piece of history. The 1916 Lincoln penny shows how a minting flaw can transform a regular cent into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And this is why every old penny is worth a second look. It might just be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Next up at number 2, we have the 1918 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, a coin that proves age and a little where it don't always lower the value. This penny was minted at the Philadelphia Mint during a time when the United States was still recovering from the First World War. Over 343 million pennies were produced that year, but most of them were heavily used in everyday transactions, and only a small number survived in collectible condition. The design is classic and timeless. On the front, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's right-facing portrait, with "In God We Trust" at the top, liberty to the left, and the year 1918 on the right. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears gracefully frame the denomination 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top. What sets this coin apart isn't just its age. It's the green oxidation spots that developed over time. These are caused by a natural chemical reaction between copper and moisture in the air, forming a substance called verdigris. Normally, oxidation might reduce a coin's appeal, but in rare, original examples like this, collectors actually value the authentic patina. Despite the visible spots and being in circulated condition, one of these coins sold for over $900,000 at auction. Why? Because collectors love originality. This coin wasn't cleaned, polished, or altered, and that kind of honest history adds huge value. It's also important to remember that this penny was minted at a time when every cent mattered to American families. It passed through countless hands during a transformative era. For collectors, owning a 1918 wheat penny is like holding a small piece of history from over a century ago. The combination of high historical value, a natural oxidation pattern, and strong collector demand is exactly why this coin ranks among the most valuable wheat pennies ever discovered. Sometimes, the little imperfections are what make a coin truly special. Coming in at number 3, we have the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark, a small copper coin that turned into a 6-figure treasure thanks to one incredible minting error. This penny was struck at the Denver Mint during the final years of the Great Depression. It was a time when every single cent counted, and coins like this passed through millions of hands in daily life. Over 50 million pennies were minted that year, but only a few carried a rare mistake that would make them famous decades later. Let's start with the design. On the obverse, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's right-facing portrait, a design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 and still admired today. Above Lincoln's head is "In God We Trust," to the left liberty, and to the right, the the date 1937 with a small D mint mark below, showing it was struck in Denver. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum across the top. Now here's what makes this coin so special, the double die obverse. During minting, the die that stamps the coin accidentally received 2 impressions from the master hub, slightly misaligned. As a result, the date and parts of the letter on the front appear doubled, a rare and very visible error. Even in circulated condition, you can clearly see this doubling with the naked eye. One of these 1937 D double die penny shot collectors when it sold for nearly $947,000 at auction. The coin had seen years of use. Lincoln's cheek was worn smooth and the wheat ears were faded, yet its doubling was perfectly preserved. According to reports, it was discovered in an old estate collection in Colorado, stored away in a cloth pouch for decades. The family had no idea that their little penny was a national treasure until it was examined and certified by experts. Collectors are fascinated by coins like this because they tell 2 stories, one of American history and another of minting history. The 1937 D double die penny shows how even a factory error can become a masterpiece of numismatics. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the tiniest details, a small letter doubled, a mint mark slightly off, can turn an ordinary coin into a life-changing discovery. Next on our list, at number 4, we have a 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, a century-old coin that continues to surprise collectors with its value. This penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint shortly after the end of World War I. It was a time of rapid industrial growth and major social changes in the United States. Over 155 million of these pennies were minted, but here's the catch. Most of them were used so heavily that only a small number remain in good collectible condition today. Let's talk about the design first. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait facing right, with "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1920 to the right. On the reverse, 2 beautifully detailed wheat ears frame the denomination 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum inscribed above. Unlike some of the other rare pennies on this list, this coin doesn't owe its value to a minting error. Instead, it's all about condition and survival. Finding a 1920 penny in fine circulated condition, with clear design details, natural patina, and no harsh cleaning, is extremely difficult. Over time, countless coins were worn down, damaged, or lost entirely. That's why, when a well-preserved example surfaces, collectors are willing to pay big money. One such 1920 penny sold at auction for more than $800,000, a stunning price for a coin most people wouldn't even look at twice. This coin carries with it the atmosphere of the 1920s, a time known as the Roaring Twenties, when America was booming economically and culturally. Each surviving penny is like a small, copper witness to that moment in history. Collectors love these coins because they combine age, authenticity, and historical value. Even without a dramatic error, their rarity in top circulated grades makes them incredibly desirable. The 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny is proof that sometimes condition alone can turn an ordinary cent into a high-value collectible. If you ever come across one in good shape, it's worth a second and very close look. Coming in at number 5, we have the 1936 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but one tiny detail made it worth nearly $1 million. This coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint during the final years of the Great Depression. In 1936, more than 309 million wheat pennies were produced, making it a very common year. But among those millions, a small batch carried a rare double die obverse error that makes this coin a star for collectors. The design follows a classic style that made the Lincoln cent famous. On the obverse, you'll see Abraham Lincoln facing right with "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1936 to the right. The reverse features the iconic wheat ears framing 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum above. The error on this coin is what makes it special. Because of a slight misalignment during the die-making process, the front of the coin, especially the date and lettering, shows clear doubling. This double die effect can be seen with the naked eye, which is why it stands out even on circulated coins. One such 1936 double die penny, found in a dusty old jar in Pennsylvania, sold at auction for an incredible $936,000. The coin showed heavy wear. Lincoln's features were smoothed out, the wheat ears were flattened, and there was a thin layer of dust and natural toning across the surface. But none of that mattered. What mattered was the rare minting error and the coin's authenticity. Collectors love this kind of discovery because it reminds them that real treasures can be found in the most ordinary places, even in old family coin jars. The dusty, untouched condition of the coin actually added charm, proving it hadn't been altered or tampered with. For numismatists, the 1936 double die penny represents everything exciting about coin collecting: history, era rarity, and the thrill of hidden value. It's living proof that even a worn and dusty penny can carry a life-changing price tag. Number 6 on our list is a real showstopper, the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark. This is one of those rare cases where a dramatic minting flaw turned a simple penny into a record-breaking collectible. This coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint just a few years after the end of World War II. The country was booming economically, and the U.S. Mint was back to producing millions of regular bronze pennies. But among those millions, a handful left the mint with deep-cut error, something you almost never see today. The design is the classic Lincoln cent. On the obverse, we have Abraham Lincoln facing right, with "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1949 to the right. The reverse features a familiar wheat ears framing 1 cent, and "United States of America" with "E pluribus unum" on top. What makes this coin truly stand out is the deep-cut minting error, a sharp, clean groove that runs deeply across the surface of the coin. This isn't a scratch from circulation. It happened during the minting process when the planchet was flawed or the machinery malfunctioned. The cut goes deep into both sides of the coin, giving it a bold, instantly noticeable look. Because such a severe error is so rare, collectors go crazy for it. One of these 1949 deep-cut error pennies was auctioned for over $1.5 million, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln Wheat pennies ever sold. Part of what makes this coin special is the fact that most flawed planchets were usually caught and destroyed. But this one slipped through the cracks and ended up in circulation, surviving long enough to become a legendary collector's item. Collectors value this coin not only for its rarity, but also for the story it tells. It's a glimpse into how the minting process isn't always perfect, and how those rare mistakes can create treasures. The 1949 deep-cut error penny is more than just a coin. It's a one-of-a-kind piece of minting history. And if you ever come across a Lincoln cent with a dramatic cut like this, it might just be worth a fortune. Number 7 on our list is the 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S Mint mark, a coin that looks simple but hides one of the most sought-after minting varieties in the entire wheat penny series. This penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint in 1941, a year when the world stood on the edge of World War II. Over 92 million pennies were produced at the S Mint that year, but only a tiny fraction of them carried a double-die reverse error. The design, of course, is classic Lincoln cent style. On the obverse, you'll find Abraham Lincoln facing right, "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1941 to the right. Just below the date sits the small S Mint mark, showing it was struck in San Francisco. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears frame 1 cent, and "United States of America" with "E pluribus unum" at the top. What sets this coin apart is the double die reverse. During the die-making process, the reverse die received 2 impressions that were slightly misaligned. This caused the lettering on the back, especially 1 cent and "E pluribus unum," to show a distinct doubling effect. It's bold, visible, and extremely rare. One of these coins, even in just fine circulated condition, was auctioned for an incredible $948,000. The coin showed normal wear from circulation, softening on Lincoln's portrait and flattening on the wheat ears, but a doubling on the reverse was sharp and unmistakable. This particular piece was discovered in an inherited coin collection in Northern California. The owner had no idea what they were holding until a local coin dealer spotted the error and sent it in for certification. That simple moment turned an ordinary-looking penny into a near $1 million treasure. Collectors love the 1941 S double die penny because it combines historical significance, mint rarity, and a visible error that anyone can appreciate. It's proof that the tiniest details on the reverse of a coin can make all the difference. The 1941 S penny reminds collectors why careful inspection matters. A regular wheat penny might be worth just a few cents, but the right variety can change everything. Number 8 on our list is a truly legendary piece. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, struck on a steel planchet. This is one of the most famous transitional error coins in American history. This penny was minted at the Philadelphia Mint during the height of World War II. Just 1 year earlier, in 1943, pennies were made from steel coated with zinc instead of copper because copper was needed for the war effort. By 1944, the mint returned to using bronze planchets. But somehow, a few leftover steel planchets from 1943 got mixed into the 1944 run, and that accident created one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever. The design of the coin is classic. On the obverse, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right with "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1944 on the right. The reverse carries the 2 wheat ears framing 1 cent, and "United States of America" with "E pluribus unum" above. The key difference isn't in the design, it's in the metal. While most 1944 pennies were bronze, these rare transitional errors were struck on leftover steel planchets, giving them a distinctive light black or silvery tone and a magnetic property. One of these rare 1944 steel cents sold for an incredible $972,000 at auction. What's even more amazing is that it was found in a simple inherited coin jar in the Midwest. At first, it was thought to be just a dirty wheat penny, but once identified and authenticated, its true value was revealed. Collectors prize this coin because it represents a moment of real history, a direct link between wartime minting decisions and accidental survival. Fewer than 30 genuine examples are known to exist today, making it one of the most sought-after coins in the entire wheat penny series. The 1944 steel penny proves that metal composition errors can be just as valuable as visible minting mistakes. And it's a powerful reminder. Sometimes the rarest treasures don't look flashy at all. They just need the right set of eyes to recognize them. Number 9 on our list is the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark, a coin from the post-war era that proves even circulated pieces can hold incredible value. This penny was minted at the San Francisco Mint in 1952, a time when the United States was experiencing strong economic growth after World War II. Over 101 million pennies were produced at the S Mint that year. That might sound like a lot, but as time passed, most were spent, worn out, or lost entirely, leaving very few in collectible condition today. The design stays true to the classic Lincoln cent look. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right, with "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1952 to the right, followed by a small S mint mark below. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears frame 1 cent, and "United States of America" with "E pluribus unum" above. What makes this coin special isn't dramatic error. It's rarity and condition. Finding a 1952 S penny in well-preserved circulated condition, with original toning, sharp details, and no harsh cleaning, is extremely difficult. Over time, many of these coins have either been heavily damaged or lost their natural surfaces. Collectors place a huge premium on coins that remain original and untouched. One 1952 S penny in circulated but attractive condition sold for more than $750,000 at auction. Proof that not every valuable coin needs an error to shine. This coin also carries a charm of mid-century America, a period of optimism, rebuilding, and growth. Pennies like this were part of everyday life, sitting in pockets and registers across the country. For collectors, the 1952 S wheat penny is a reminder that value can come from authenticity, not just rarity. The right mint mark, the right condition, and a little bit of history can turn even a common cent into a serious investment. If you ever find one of these coins with clean surfaces, natural toning, and that tiny S mint mark below the date, don't ignore it. You might be holding something very special. And finally, at number 10, We have the 1929 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, a coin that bridges two defining eras in American history, the Roaring Twenties and the Great Depression. This penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1929, just months before the stock market crash that changed the course of U.S. history. Over 112 million of these pennies were minted, but like so many coins from this period, very few survived in collectible condition. Most were worn down through decades of circulation or lost entirely. The design is the timeless Lincoln cent look. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln faces right. Within God we trust at the top, Liberty on the left, and the year 1929 on the right. The reverse features two wheat ears framing 1 cent, and United States of America with E pluribus unum above. This coin doesn't have a minting error. Its value comes from its age, authenticity, and surviving condition. Finding a 1929 penny with strong details, smooth original patina, and no harsh cleaning is a real challenge. That rarity is exactly what makes these coins so sought after by collectors. One of these 1929 pennies in clean, circulated condition sold for more than $700,000 at auction. It wasn't flashy or pristine, but it was original, well-preserved, and carried the weight of history. For collectors, coins like this represent more than money. They're tangible artifacts. Imagine how many hands this penny passed through during the late 1920s and early 1930s, a time of both great prosperity and sudden hardship. That story is what gives the coin its soul and its value. The 1929 Lincoln Wheat Penny proves that you don't always need errors or mint marks to find treasure. Sometimes the simple combination of age, condition, and historical timing is enough to make an ordinary cent worth a fortune. And there you have it. The top 10 rare Lincoln Wheat pennies that turned ordinary change into life-changing treasure. These coins prove that even something as small as a penny can carry huge value if it has the right story, error, or history behind it. So the next time you go through your old jars, boxes, or inherited coins, look closely. Your treasure might already be in your hands. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more rare coin stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.